You're listening to One Third Life podcast. You have 25 years plus experience in your project management space. Can you compare a typical day in 20 years ago versus AI enabled today? So, what are the differences that you see then versus now?
Yeah, so I think things have changed a lot. When we were doing project management at that point of time, it was all manual. You There were documents that you need to manage, paper ones. There were the internet had just started. The speeds were very low, so even sending out an email sometimes was.
This was when? The year?
This was in late '90s and early 2000.
Right.
So it was not that easy to do the coordination, and so a lot of time that we spent was more on coordination, on information arbitrage, because the information was not available for one part of the organization or one part of the customer. On top of it, the customer relationships don't change. That management of the stakeholders, that didn't change. That doesn't change today. That doesn't did It was the same at that point. Of the people aspects of it, the management of aspects of it did the same. But the administrative stuff was much more creating reports, informing people, calling up people, making sure the coordination, the logistics, all that stuff. That was a lot more at that point of time.
So, this was all manually
It
done.
was all manual, and it was all done in real time with manual interventions with people. Even calling up the truck driver and asking where he is.
Okay.
That is no more there these days, right? So one, of course, with the internet speeds getting better. So yeah, we were just at the start of the internet era, right?
This was early
Early, yeah.
2000s. And
Now, if you look at it, I think we are internet is of course everywhere. The speeds are amazing. The processing speeds on your phone are better than what we had in our laptops. The What is now added is the AI. So AI, I would say we are at the start of the AI era as well, and that is also now going to impact the way project manage. Even in the internet era, you still have to manually send documents and all, and do the information arbitrage, as let's say. But now with the AI coming in, I think a lot of that administrative tasks can be done automatically.
okay.
What will focus would be on the risk management, on stakeholder management, and that's a higher order work that you do rather than just doing the basic administrative things of you know saying, okay, this file is here, please take it from here or send it on the email. It's not going to happen, and because there will be a centralized data lake where all the documents would reside. All you would do is run an LLM, put an LLM on top of it, put a chatbot on top of it, and you ask question and you will get the answer.
Right.
Which earlier you had to read, or even now people have to read tens and hundreds of pages of document to figure out what information is where. So
But
that
don't
goes
you
away.
think humans will get lazy in the process of everything is easy for you in the workspace?
The same was said when the books came. The same was said when machineries were started. The same was said
When
when
the
the
internet
internet started,
started?
and the same is being said now. But the point is that you are removing non-productive work.
Right.
Already, when we talk about AI, there's a 40% efficiency, even in this initial stages, right? Using agents, using LLM. I mean, what I could do took me a day to complete. Now I can finish in half a day. So that's already a very good improvement in the efficiency. So that's going to happen. So I think laziness is the wrong word. Laziness means if somebody has to be lazy, they can be lazy anywhere. It doesn't have to do with technology. It's the technology is there. How you use it is important. So that's the difference.
Okay, let's talk cognitive stack.
Mm.
Can you explain cognitive stack in a very simple terms?
Yeah, I don't like that word either. But
It's very complicated.
it's complicated. But it basically means that what is the AI toolbox that you use for a particular set of work that you're doing.
Okay.
Your AI toolbox for a marketing person would be very different from an engineer or a
Mm.
software engineer. So you have to build your own AI toolbox. So that is what a cognitive stack is. So there are maybe three layers. The first layer is where you get all the data. So all the data floating around. So that's where your basic first
You
stack of. So
compile
what you
the
use, you
data.
use cloud, you use You use LLMs, and you know which LLM do you use. So that's the first layer. So you need to understand whether you're using a Gemini Pro or whatever. The second layer is your analytical layer. So what tools are you using on top of that data to build your understanding of the data, so make sense out of the data. So that's your second layer, that's the analytic layer. So what tools are you going to use, what are the AI tools, are which agents are you going to use, right? So
Mm.
to work on those tools, and that becomes then your third layer. So third layer is about presentation, about decision making,
Mm.
right? So if you know all these three layers of your thing, so that's what a cognitive stack is. Basically it's an AI toolbox, but it's put in a very cognitive way.
This also feels like a hierarchical.
Hierarchically, yeah, you have the data, you have to analyze the data, you have to present the data. You present it to your management, let's say, as you use a Gamma app, for example. So that becomes a presentation layer where you do your cognitives. What you do is you make your narrative and give it to the tool, and it builds it for you
Mm.
instead of sitting down and making each and every slide.
So you'll save your time and also focus more on the efficiency.
I'm not anymore worried about the beautification of slides.
Mm.
It happens automatically. I'm more worried about the content, which should be. Today, if you look at Photoshop,
Mm.
I as an amateur photographer.
You'll ask AI generate something.
No. So as an amateur photographer, I'm just taking a example from
Okay.
from an old times, right? A person who knows Photoshop
Mm.
in and out is much better than person who's like me, who knows the basics out of Photoshop.
Okay.
So I can do basic stuff, but if I need to really do a higher end stuff, they would still use the same tool, but they'll use their own intelligence and expertise.
Because
They
they know it.
because they're the experts on it.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Okay. Let's talk about AI's ability to do a sentiment analysis on a team. So, how does a leader use this data without making them feel like there's always somebody watching us?
yeah. So even in the projects today, even let's set aside AI.
Mm.
A project manager has to be very sensitive to what's happening in the whole project, right? So he needs to know who are happy, customer is happy or not.
Not just the project, but also the people.
Also the people within so they a lot of times things happen on the ground which doesn't boil up.
Mm.
Right? So people don't know till the time it becomes really um, the situation is out of the hand. Right? If there's unrest in a public domain and we don't know about it as a project managers or senior leaders, then it becomes, by the time it's already too late.
Mm.
Right? So then it's a firefighting you need to do. But when you have the sentiment analysis, you can pick those things up in meetings, in in notes, and because now all of that data is coming into a common data lake, so you can perform the sentiment analysis better. And once you get to know that, it's not about people big brother watching. It's more about taking care of things much before it is happening.
Mm.
So sometimes the data is there, but sometimes it's not. So sometimes you just have to listen to people. You as people, we know that is certain words that are used. It
Certain
tells whether
emotions,
and sentiment analysis is not really new. It's been around for a very long time.
but not AI.
It has been AI as well,
Oh, okay.
but not so open now with the whole LLM things. I mean, you could do a word cloud at some point of time, even 7 8 years back.
Mm-hmm.
You take a document and put it on a word cloud, which is very easy to do, and you'll say, okay, what are the main themes of this article, right?
Okay.
You could do it still. I mean, it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
new, but now it has become easier because a lot of data can be captured at the source and put it in a common area where it can be analyzed.
Mm.
Right? So that's the difference. It's the
Okay.
speed and it's the quantity of data and it's sentiment analysis. So it's not that I mean we shouldn't take it as Big Brother is watching, but that's anyway the role of a management is to understand that the people are able to do their work.
Mm.
And if they have a bottleneck, that's what management is about, is getting the bottleneck removed. And
So
this way
this
it becomes much more easier for a project manager or any manager to handle things. Right?
okay. This has been around for quite some time.
Yeah, but not been used. So I mean, there have been e-commerce guys using, which is my product, which sells more. Can I? You get all this, right? If you want buying this, can I also buy this?
Mm-hmm.
So those kind of analysis, and that's all AI. But But now with
Back then, when you were working as a project manager, how was it done?
it's purely by talking to each other.
Okay.
There is no other way.
Hmm.
So, and it has a downside because a lot of things, a lot of times we got to know quite late.
Okay.
But yeah, fine. Then you would firefight and create a lot of stress for everybody around you
Hmm.
and yourself. So, but get it done.
That would disrupt a lot of
Yes,
projects'
yes.
time. Okay. You said that AI has this ability to do a skill swap from other teams,
Hmm.
right? Why wouldn't a human manager think of that?
So first of all, I think you need to make sure that the systems are there, the data is available. Yes, humans can do it as well. It's not a problem that they can't do it. So let's take an organization which is like 10,000 people. At any given point of time, a manager doesn't have access to each and every person's skill within an organization in a manual way, right?
Mm.
Now, if the systems are put in place, you have the skills of each and every person inside the organization sitting in a database.
Mm.
Now, earlier you could still do that earlier, but you had to run a query, and it was and not everybody could do it. You could raise a request here. Not everybody had that system. Some organization did have the system even that point of time. That where is the particular skill residing in this organization globally,
Wow.
not only in they did. I mean, I know some of the organizations who are bigger ones they had it, but a lot of these organizations didn't have it, right? Medium scale or even ones who work in multiple geography. Now, when you have the data at your fingertip, all you need to do is ask a question on the chatbot and you get an answer. So you ask, I've got this expert leaving, who in the organization can help me and replace this guy immediately.
Mm.
The ones near you anyway know. I mean, if there is no available there, it'll probably give you an answer which is far off.
Okay.
But you can still you can get that information now faster than what you would do earlier. So it's not about whether these people can do it or not. They can do it, but then their reach is a limited space. If I'm working in India, my reach is India mostly.
Right.
I don't know if there's a resource sitting in Germany
US,
or US or France
France.
or any of these places, right? So I think the idea is to have the information in the fingertip and faster.
Okay. So AI is here today, here now,
Yes.
right? What is your advice for the young professional who think AI can replace their entry level jobs? AI can take off 40% of the workforce now. So, what is your opinion on that?
Yeah, I think this 40% number of workforce getting reduced is not not really um, if somebody wants to do it as a CEO, they can do it, remove 30-40%, but you're losing a lot of valuable talent.
Mm.
Even to set up the systems, you need people. Now the idea is that you should get to the next level and help them get to the next level. It's not about throwing out people. It's about retooling them to do their work and using AI, right? For fresh graduates, I think earlier when they came out of the college, it was really about doing the basic work. I will try to learn on the job.
Mm.
I will do the basic things when I get a job, and then I will try to figure out from there. That is becoming a little bit more difficult now. You already need to understand what you can do with the tools, how you use them, even before you make your first application to any organization, because they will start using it. If they're not doing it now, they will start asking you pretty soon.
Mm.
So the only way to counter that whole thing, that and it will be true, if you it's like at some point of time people saying I don't know internet, your chances of getting a job is really thin, right?
Pretty low, yeah.
Pretty low, unless you're applying for
Nepotism.
no, unless you're applying for a labor job, you don't need to. But generally, a white collar job, you need to know internet. If you say I don't know how to write an email, if you don't know how to use an Excel, or you
That's
don't know
pretty
how to use a
basic now.
Word. Yeah, it was not basic at that point of time. It is now.
Mm.
Right. So same thing will happen with AI. The
Mm.
same. I draw an analogy there. It will happen the same way for AI as well, because that's where you need to have the basic skills. You don't need to keep all your information in your mind. You have it in your fingertip, but then what you do with your information and how you utilize it is more important now,
Mm.
rather than saying, okay, I'll do some data entry. That's not needed anymore, right? You need to make sense of what the data means, and that is where your college curriculum should be like that, your studies should be like that, and that's. I mean, I'm pretty sure pretty soon it will be all open book exams.
Oh.
You don't need to have the data, right? But how you have, and it's already there in a lot of. I mean, when I was in college, we had some open book tests. They were more difficult than closed books.
I think in other country I've heard that
Yeah.
there is an open book test.
Yes.
Not sure which country, but there is this concept.
So don't be scared as a fresh graduates. Just go ahead and do things that are needed to get a job. And one of the things needed is to get into a higher order thinking, not do the basic things.
So you should go far and beyond the curriculum that you're studying and understand what is required in the industry.
Yes, and how we apply that. The application becomes much more important.
Do you see in any industry where AI is not required at all? It is purely human and no AI.
Look, it's very difficult to say that now. In some form or the other, it will be needed. How deep it would be, I don't know. Because the reason also I'm saying is because there is so much happening on AI right now. There is so much happening on AI right now that I cannot predict. Nobody can predict what's going on, right? We couldn't even predict a lot of these things 1 year back.
This reminds me of internet era when nobody wanted internet back then.
Yeah.
And now internet is like, without internet you can't live.
Exactly.
So you think AI will be
something like that.
Internet 2.0?
Yeah, that's true. It's probably, I would say, Internet 4.0 maybe. Internet 2.0 has gone a long time back, but yeah, it would be, and AI would be there, and any industry that will not need AI, probably not. Any industry that will not need humans, possible. The reason being that there's already a concept of dark factory.
Yeah.
There's a concept of dark factory where there is no human. Politically, it's not a great thing, but if you have a serious resource problem, serious people problem, there are a lot of countries who have that issue. So in those countries, I think it'll be a matter of choice.
Okay.
It's a matter of choice whether a country wants to
and
do
constraint, right?
And constraints, yeah. If a country has to be great at manufacturing and they don't have enough manpower to do manufacturing, they would be very happy to have a dark factory, right? Automate everything. Already, I mean, if you look at the car manufacturing today, there's so many robo arms being used to produce, right? It was not like that in 60s when Ford started production of, it's all manual. Now very little things are manual now. So yes, I mean, there'll be industries where AI may not be used to that depth, and there will be industries where humans are not needed, at least to that depth. There'll still be humans, of course, for decision making, and
it all depends on the company's choice and constraint,
and the country's companies. So whichever environment that you're working in, right? That's the way it would be.
You ended your day with a concert, your work day, at a concert, only because your personal agent had an access to your Spotify playlist, and it suggested that so and so artist is performing, and then it booked the ticket for you, right? So is this the AI fluency, work life balance?
Yeah, just like AI that you will use in your office work, you will also use AI for your personal improvement of your life. This, by the way, is an example which is very soon possible. It depends on you whether you want to give that. I don't want it to go and book a ticket with you without asking me. But it can do. It can do it now. Even now you have the agents running which can do it for you. But I don't want it, so that's my choice, that I will say, okay, you ask me first before you go and book the ticket. It can go look at my calendar and say everything is fine, you're an empty space, here's a ticket for you.
What if you
it is
don't
possible,
want to
but
go?
I don't want it. But the greater point here is that, what, as a project manager, I remember when I was project manager, I got a very little free time to do any of those things, because my work was so much all encompassing. I had to constantly talk to people, I had to travel all the time, I had to make sure that 20 different things were running smoothly at the same point of time. So you're spending 18 hours a day working, right? 16 to 18 hours a day I was working, weekends as well. So you didn't get time to do all the things that we are talking about, just going to a concert. And I've not personally gone, missed a lot of these events, even family events, just because the work was there. But now with AI, I think that some of these troubles will be taken care of, and I'll have pretty much a little bit more time as a project manager to devote to the work-life balance that you say. So it makes it easier. You get some time out, and you can utilize it in a way that you want, rather than constantly firefighting.
Okay, there's a lot of talk about AI in project management, etc., etc. Do you have any event that's coming up?
Yes. So we have a event coming up. So one, we have a workshop coming up pretty soon. It's an open workshop. We're not charging anything for it. It's meant for project managers. It's happening next week in Bangalore. So that is about that's a very initial uh, taste of what AI can do for a project manager. But then we also have a 2-day workshop later on planned in March, which of course is a paid workshop, but it gives you all the tools that a project manager needs to run its projects, their projects, right? So that is coming up, and I think we have spent a lot of time figuring out as a project manager, bringing all the experience from the project and what troubles them the most, how we get some of these troubles out of them using AI, out of their lives using AI. How do we make their projects more efficient? There will be certain systems that will need to be put in place, but I think once they get a view of what can be done, that's something that we will go ahead and do it. So that's the idea.